Oh, I'm sorry, guys. I thought I thought I was live the whole time. I was over here doing audio checks and everything, man. That is crazy. Sorry, guys. I thought it was on, man. But hey, we 5 minutes late. We are 5 minutes late, guys. I am sorry about that. I literally was doing the checks for my light and for the audio. Can you guys hear me? Making sure y'all can hear me. All right. Matter of fact, let me go ahead and update the live's title. Okay. Hey, we got Benny in here. Benny is early. We see you. We see you. We see you. All right. Let me just edit this real quick. The title. Edit it real quick. Hope you guys have been having an amazing Saturday thus far. I know I have been. So hope you guys are as well. Definitely been an interesting week for me. Just got back in town yesterday from a convention, I would say. So back in town, got back in town late last night. Doing all right. Let me know how y'all's week been this week. Let me know. Let me know. Hey, let me know. My wife don't like when I start singing and stuff or like doing some rhymes. She don't like my rhyming skills. All right. Almost there. Almost there. We got a good one today, guys. I feel like it's going to be some pretty interesting ones. Um, I'm excited for them. Obviously, they're coming from the one and only Mr. Nightmare, man. Because Mr. Nightmare, like I say, man, he does not kill us with these copyright strikes that everybody else wants to do. We got Daniel. Hey, what's good, Daniel? What's good, Daniel? We got Daniel. Uh, hey, don't worry. I was actually late. Like I said earlier, I was actually late myself. Because of I thought I was live, but I didn't press the button to go live. So it was like, what? I thought I was live, but I wasn't live. That's crazy. Oh. Okay. We got Ron here. Yes, indeed. I had dinner, or Benny said I had dinner today. Okay, Ross said, hey Eddie, just gave you a like, appreciate it. Hey, let's go ahead and get into this warm up. I don't have one prepared, but I'm gonna just go off the top. And I remember last week we touched on that Miami thing. Um, I haven't heard any updates on that, but let me search some updates and see if we have any updates. I know this Cat Williams thing. If you guys don't know about Cat Williams, that's been going crazy still. Um, let's see the Miami Mall incident. Yeah, the Cat Williams thing has been going crazy. It's been super viral this week, but it's dying down now. Okay, actual alien footage spotted in Miami Mall. Okay. Are aliens in Miami real? See, everybody want to say they're aliens. It's not aliens. Okay. Well, I don't want it to because they tried to copyright strike me last time I looked it up. Uh, shows moments of gunfire breaks out. Okay. Yeah, I don't see any clear evidence on that. But let me go to let me go to something real quick. Hold on. Actually, let me pause the mic. I gotta ask my wife a question real quick. All right. We're back. We're back. We're back. Um, I even forgot what I was trying to do. Honestly, I had something that I was gonna that came up on top of my head. Um, recent recent. Let's look at recent horror. Let me share my screen so you guys see what I'm looking at. Share my screen. All right. Recent. Whoa. Horror stories. Horror stories. Stories in the U.S. U.S. I know I'm typing slow with only one finger. Let me put USA because they might get it confused. Let me see. 13 terrifying but true horror stories reported in the news. Man, I've been seeing some stuff like on this one channel of things of people killing like their family members, kids, and stuff like that. It's been pretty crazy. So I know they got some stories here. Hold on, did I share my screen properly? Okay, yeah, I got it. Um, let me see. Um, yeah, let me see something. All right, boom. So we have the infield monster. Let's read about that real quick. The infield monster. What is that? Okay, this is in 1973. A man in Enfield, Illinois. Okay, that's a spot. That's a location. Told reporters that he saw a weird little creature lurking in his yard. Per the Mount Vernon Register News, resident Henry McDaniel stated it had three legs on it, a short body, two little short arms, and two pink eyes as big as flashlights. Okay, that sounds like a creature off of that one Disney movie. You know, like the creatures with the one eye and stuff like that. That's what it sounds like. What is going on here? The police found scratches on the door screen and footprints that looked like a dog's, but with six toes. What the heck? If they do find it, McDaniel said in the newspaper, they will find more than one and they won't be from this planet. I can tell you that. To this day, no explanation has ever been found. Okay. The suicidal hotel or the suicide hotel. Let's read about that. These are like nice short stories. In Colombia, the oh, you know what? I think I heard about this hotel in Colombia. Like they say, like people kill themselves because it's like some spirits or something haunting the hotel. So let me read it and see if this is the one that I saw like a while ago. In Colombia, the Hotel del Salto has more stories as one of the most haunted places on earth, more than it does actual tenants. Okay, that's kind of crazy. Turned into a museum. Oh yeah, they turned into a museum. The hotel was designed by the hotel was designed by. Okay, that was a typo. Architect Carlos Arturo. Oh shoot, Tapeas back in 1923 overlooked the Tequendama Tequendama Falls. The views were said to be spectacular, but guests kept getting a little too close to the falls. Translated the Hotel of the Leap, the Hotel del Salto. is full of stories and of people leaping to their deaths. According to local legend, the indigenous Musica tribe escaped from Spanish colonizers by leaping off cliffs some centuries before. Okay, I heard of that one before, but I think there's also another hotel that they say people either get killed in or something, like in an actual hotel. This sounds like people jump off the waterfall and have a good swim or something. I don't know. Um, but yeah, I thought these were current stories for today. This is a little warm up thing. I thought I'll just start off with to let people roll in on here. Don't forget to smash the like button. Let me see if we have anything else. Something current of today. Okay. All right. We're gonna go ahead and get started. We're gonna get to the first video of the stream. Okay, so this one, we're gonna turn off the lights, but for this one though, this one in particular is from doorbell ring cameras. I've seen a lot of crime videos lately of doorbell ring cameras happening, and it is kind of scary to witness because a lot of these areas are rough, but people have been like stealing cars, trying to break in, all the weird stuff, like trying to knock on doors, and as soon as somebody open it, you get popped, stuff like that. I don't know, why it's so crazy like this, but it's happening a lot more. So these 7 disturbing videos captured on the ring, these are probably going to be disturbing, because the scary stuff is when people trying to come get you. Disturbing is when people are acting strange and you catch them, either by them not knowing or them trying to do something. I don't know. But we're going to hop into this first video. 7 disturbing videos captured on the Ring doorbell by Mr. Nightmare. Shouts out to Mr. Nightmare. We appreciate your videos. Yeah, man. Let's get it. I'm going to turn off the lights and we're going to have our spooky, dim atmosphere for the first video. I usually do it on the second video, but I'm gonna start off on the first because this seems scary. So we're gonna start off on the first video with this exact one. So let's do it. Let's do it. All right, let me share the screen first. Share the screen. Make sure I got the right. Is it not working? Oh, I gotta share screen once again. Boom, boom. Okay. Sharing the screen. Okay, we're good. All right. We're gonna dim the lights. We gotta dim the lights. It's a little too bright. I know you guys can still see me. Let me turn this up right here. Something like that. Okay. All right. Hope you guys have your snacks, have your blankets. It's cold outside, so you gotta have a blanket. And your hot chocolate or hot teas. Let's get it.
I've done a Ring cameras video, and as it turns out, people are still creeps and a lot of new videos have surfaced. So let's look at some of them. This first video is a very real and grisly reminder that danger can be following you anywhere at any time, even to your front door. And it can be a lesson, especially for women, to be alert of your surroundings, especially before opening your front door.
Really, for real. Whoa. And she have a baby in her hand. Oh, she got a. Wow, this guy. This guy's.
Are you
What?
interested in starting your own faceless YouTube automation?
Y'all see how he just smoothly just went up there? This guy just smoothly went up there like it was just regular, bro. Man, that is crazy. Y'all gotta always watch your back, man.
As you just saw, a mother holding her infant daughter unknowingly leads a man to her front door and was mere
She had no
seconds away
idea.
from him getting inside. As the man approaches the driveway, you can see him pulling up the mask over his face to conceal his identity, clearly with premeditated intentions.
Oh, yeah.
As the man walks up the driveway, the daughter takes notice to him as the mother is still completely oblivious to the approaching threat.
Wow, the baby knew.
Luckily, she makes it inside and shuts the door in time. She only
For
realized
real.
what had just happened after looking through the terrifying ring footage.
What?
The woman made a report to the police as soon as she saw the footage. What the police said was disturbing. There had been a series of reports of a brutal and violent rapist in the area who had
What?
been targeting women and children. It's suspected that he and this man were the same person. No sane person leaves their house with a full face mask such as this one if they're not knowingly about to commit a serious crime and want to conceal their identity. The woman in the video just may have saved her and her child's life just by the skin of her teeth.
Man, that made me so upset, you know. But it's good that the lady saw the footage, because man, that just might prompt you to be extra careful now and to really take a precaution. But that made me upset to know that somebody's out there like that, man. It's crazy. Whole bunch of wild stuff happening. But shoot, imagine if she didn't have it though. She wouldn't have she would be strolling like nobody's there every time. But now that she know, she could be like, okay, I'm gonna watch my back better than what I did, because she was not even concerned, you know. So it's a good warning to her. I'm glad she made it out safe, and hopefully, you know, she's moving differently.
If you're not convinced of just how often this kind of thing happens, here's a similar video.
Oh
A
Lord.
young college-age looking girl is coming home, letting herself into her house. Not even
Uh-oh.
5 seconds after she enters the home, two large men step on the porch, and the
Oh,
one in front immediately tries to open the door.
she better hurry up, cuz. What in the world? What's that noise? Why sound like somebody getting hurt or something? Oh, they're yelling. They're like, we're calling the police. Because I guess they can see them through the ring camera. So like, we're calling the police. Wow. Call the police, bro.
Some people think the men looked genuinely confused and may have had the wrong house. However, the short window of time between the girl entering the house and the men stepping on the porch would have definitely allowed them to see the girl. You'd think anyone who just tries to open the door to a house
Nah.
surely must know they have the right house,
They
or
ain't
at the very
confused.
least know who lives in the house. It could also be argued that when the man turns to his friend behind him, he's making mention of the camera, and so he pretends to think he has the right house by sticking around and knocking, despite the obvious screams from the girl inside as she notices the men at the door. It seems they only run off after the girl starts screaming, "We're calling the police."
Exactly. Why are you running now?
So unlike the first video,
Yeah.
there's no 100% proof of whether these guys had bad intentions or not. Whether they were trying to grab the girl, or if they genuinely had the wrong house, is up for debate, as there's no further info on this video. If it is the second one, still, everything about the men's actions was sketchy.
It was sketchy.
In this video, on the
100%.
other hand, what's going on couldn't be more clear. In the early morning hours on October 16th in Kent, Washington, a couple's seen returning home. The husband is seen unlocking the door, and seconds later, as the man's wife follows behind, she turns her head to a gun-wielding suspect chasing behind her. She acts quickly and runs inside, locking.
Give me 30 days and I'll make you go viral on short form.
I seen that. Seen this video, and I don't know how she made it inside the house, but she made it by like milliseconds, man. Because if you look to the left, it's like the door barely closed. But we got Blue Deuce in here. He said I had okay. He's saying what he had to eat. But yeah, man, she barely made this one. I was surprised that she actually got in because it was so close.
Door. The suspect then spots the Ring camera and hits it repeatedly with his gun, effectively breaking the device.
It's still on record.
It's at this time that you can notice a second man there as well.
Oh, dang.
The couple spent their night at a casino, and for this reason, the wife believes the two men followed them home from the casino, hoping to rob them of any of their winnings.
Wow.
Fortunately, they made it inside safely. The suspect with the gun was identified by police as 18-year-old Al Hussein Janneh.
18? He looked 35. Nah, he can't be 18. Nah, bro. Look at that. His hairline is like that. This must be a picture of like the most recent picture because this can't be 18 right here, man. Like he look like he's been through a lot of tribulation, bro. I seen some people that were young that look old, but nothing says 18 to me about his appearance. Honestly, I'm not trying to crack on him like that, but I'm very surprised he said 18. Does Mr. Nightmare have his research in order? Because this one, y'all drop in the comments if he looks 18 to you guys. Maybe I'm just not seeing it. I don't know, but he looked older than 18. To me, he does. Blue Dude says I don't go to casinos. I went to Benny says I went to a casino once, never again. Yeah, and that's why like always like double take and watch the cars behind you, see if they're following you. Like do like extra turns and all that good stuff when you when you drive, because I tend to do that as a habit now, just in case, I just test it out, see if somebody, follow me, just might take a couple of turns that I don't usually take. And let's see what, if they follow me or not. And if they are, we're going to shake them off. But yeah, Ross says, yeah, he looked 35 to me. Yeah, let's see.
Arrested on October 26th. He faced multiple charges, including burglary in the first degree, and he pleaded not guilty to all of them. With this fourth video, we move to something a little more paranormal.
Ooh,
this was caught on a
paranormal?
TikToker named Nolan Brock's indoor Ring security camera while he was sleeping on the couch. At 1:39 in the morning, he's awoken to the pantry doors opening and some kind of cracks or bangs coming from either inside the pantry or from the doors themselves.
Oh, shoot, son. That's opening by itself.
With the fan running, the thought of it being a draft wasn't out of the question per se. He ignored it and tried to go back to sleep. But 4 minutes later at 1:43, this happened.
Oh, yo. The cat
is aggressively yanked.
Hey, listen, the cat got out of there, son. Look at the cat on the lower left or lower right side of the couch, like around here, around this area. The cat took off, bro. Watch. Or yeah, I think that was a cat. You see it? Yo, that cat is gone. That cat said,
One of the
I'm
doors
outta
is
here.
aggressively yanked shut. And this officially removes any possibility of a draft being the cause of the doors moving. It's safe to assume he slept in his bed the rest of the night. This next video also comes from inside of a
Wow.
house instead of the front porch, and this one can play on one of the biggest fears of a lot of people, and that is someone lurking around your house as you sleep. In Wichita, Kansas, a family's Ring cameras captured some terrifying video footage of a stranger standing directly over sleeping 15-year-old Anaya Robinson at around 2:30 a.m. on a Friday night.
What?
This was the footage captured.
Oh, they speed up the video. I could tell. What is he doing?
Anaya said once she opened her eyes, she felt like she was in a scene from a horror movie, seeing somebody sitting over her, watching her that she didn't know. Anaya rushed to her mother Angel's room, screaming there's somebody in the house.
Look at this
And
guy.
after being
Everybody is Tony Robbins. How you?
Hold on for 1 second. I gotta make sure. Okay. This guy over here tiptoeing. He tiptoeing like Silent Library.
Angel made sure her
He
2-year-old
turned on the
daughter
light.
and Anaya were safe in a room before calling
This
the
guy
police.
is a
Wichita police responded quickly, but the intruder was already gone. It's likely the boy entered the house simply through the front door. Luckily, the Ring cameras clearly caught his face, and
Yeah,
using
he-
this footage, the police acted on a tip and were able to arrest a 14-year-old boy whose name was not released. The boy faced aggravated burglary and theft charges.
Dang.
In November 2021, a woman reported on Twitter that a creepy-looking man had been standing outside of her apartment almost every night for an entire month.
What?
She included a few of the videos caught by her Ring camera, and it shows the man creepily standing there for extended periods of time,
The
facing
heck?
her door.
Just standing there?
At certain points, he can be heard speaking. But what he says is impossible to hear. The woman resorted to posting this on Twitter after her complaints to the police apparently fell on deaf ears.
That's definitely weird, man.
It was a few days after her initial post that she posted an update stating that her friends and family confronted the man, which seemingly got him to stop. Additionally, the post going viral prompted her building security to do an additional routine throughout the night. I can't seem to find her Twitter profile anymore, so there don't appear to be any updates on the matter. And in this last video, an El Paso resident's Ring camera catches what appears at
El
first to be a
Paso.
woman in danger seeking help at their front door in the middle of the night. But this may be a much more sinister
Oh.
situation than that.
See, now that's tough. That right there, somebody coming to your door for help, that's the most tricky situation because it's like, man, do they really need help? And if they do really need help, what kind of help we talking about? You running from multiple people, one person, one really crazy person, or animal, or weird creature. You know what I'm saying? And if that's the case, letting them in now put you in risk, And on the flip side, if they're really not being chased or they're really not under attack by somebody, they're just trying to get you. Now you got. So either way, it's like you got. I really don't know, man. I'm thinking of the worst case scenario in this situation, so that I'll prevent the worst case scenario. So I'm thinking, hey, if somebody coming to the door, it's nothing good coming from it. That's what I'm thinking. Help! I don't know about that. Hey, y'all drop your thoughts in the comments, or drop it in the comments on what you would do. Like I personally would have to ignore it. You really gotta assess this. Like you have to. I'm leaning more on no, but I would at least give it a look. See like, okay, look out the window. Okay, it's one person. Where is she running from? Or he? I don't know. But for me, it's probably gonna be a no, more than not, or more than yes. Okay, hold on. Now let's kind of assess this situation. She knocked on a doorbell. She breathing, kind of heavy. And then she bends down. So that means she don't want to get seen. Now, those are all good cues that somebody may be chasing her. But what if she studied this and she's like, you know what? I got to make it look realistic. I will do this, do that, and do that. That could be the case too. You never know, because people are crafty and they will get you in a smart way. What we got in the comments? Benny said, I wouldn't let that person in. Okay. Ross said, I'm not helping nobody. Okay. She could be crazy and hallucinating. Yeah, she could be crazy and like, what if what if she took some drugs? She puffed on a pipe and now she's hyped. What if that's the case? Oh, they're in their hair coming out. Like, she could be crazy in that way. So we just don't know what the situation is. But so far, it looks believable. But is it real? Let's see.
At first, the woman appears to be in distress, possibly on the run from someone, crying and pleading for help. But things start getting suspicious when she hides anytime a car is approaching.
Hi guys, hello.
Oh, snap.
Is she hiding from a specific person chasing after her? Or is she perhaps trying to not be seen from any passerbys?
That's a good question, man. Maybe a boyfriend or something that's trying to beat her. I don't know, but it is questionable. Most definitely.
After the neighbor's driveway light turns on, a car's headlights approach from the right, and she's seen casually walking away, presumably to get in that unseen car, perhaps because her driver was growing paranoid that too much attention was being drawn, so they needed to leave. Now you could say that's just a far-fetched theory of mine, but a month later, El Paso police arrested a woman who was charged with burglary of habitation. That woman was Krista Nicole Cordeaux. The woman in the video looks identical to the woman in this mugshot. The charge this woman faced is defined as the act of entering any building illegally with the plan to do something serious, such as harming the owner, damaging property, or stealing. Suddenly, the prospect that this woman could have been trying to trick an unsuspecting person into opening their door doesn't seem so far-fetched.
Hey.
As always, keep your doors locked and be careful who you open them to.
Like that's what I was saying. Like that strategy of what she was acting, that could have been a plan that they figured out to make it look like she's in distress. That's why I was like, bro, she could have had some moves in her arsenal that she would use to try to get to try to make her plan successful. And it looked like she was a part of an operation, man. So good thing that person and that family didn't open the door. They saved their lives, more than likely. So that's good, man. First video pretty strange. But we gotta, watch it back out here. Obviously, make the better decision and lock your doors, man. Lock them doors. All right, we heading to the next video. If you need a bathroom break, go ahead and go to the restrooms right now. As I pull this other video up. Before we go to the other video, how's everybody doing in the comments? Is everybody okay? Is everybody doing good? Everybody doing good. Looking at some news story. Hold on. Where is American Horse? No, that's not what I'm looking for. Check everybody in the comments. All right. Benny say he's good. All right. All right, boom. Let's move to the next story. Let's get it to the next story. We have 3 scary true pizza horror stories. Now, with these pizza horror stories, I will tell you this, guys. I have had this one pizza encounter or with a delivery pizza guy. And I remember this guy was very now I'm not trying to he might have been in a bad situation financially to where he couldn't do certain things for himself. I'm not trying to pick on that or anything. But I would say his appearance was very distasteful. What I mean by that is he seemed sloppy. He seemed like he was wearing older clothes and scruffy beard. Everything was just not put together with this guy. He looked sluggish. He just wasn't in his best shape. Everything looked like it was in bad condition with him. And so I'm looking at him and I'm like, dang, and now I'm thinking about my pizza. Is this pizza gonna be good or did he mess with the pizza? Because now I'm starting to think okay, I know it's kind of messed up, but just because look a certain way don't mean the pizza is or doesn't mean that he did something to my pizza. But I was just thinking, seemed like an individual that may mess with people's order. I don't know. That's what came to my head. I don't know what will come to you guys' head, but that came to my head. And also another thing came to my head. I was like, dang, is this guy working for them for real? Or is this a sting operation? I don't know. I just start thinking in ways that I guess people don't usually think in because I'm always trying to be careful and I'm always trying to, do the extra and just make sure that I'm on point. And I did feel uncomfortable with the guy, but I just got the pizza and I actually didn't eat the pizza. I saw the pizza. The pizza was cold. So I don't know what happened in the whole thing, but I just didn't eat the pizza, man. So I think I ended up going somewhere to get something to eat after or just not eating or something like that. I don't remember. It's been a little bit, but Bluetooth said, I don't know why, but this reminds me of this video that is okay. But yeah, let's get into the video. 3 true pizza delivery horror stories. I'm curious about them. We have in the past seen some videos where the delivery drivers have gotten into some horror story situations. So let's see.
the age of 17, I was working as a pizza delivery boy for a local pizza place. I was doing it for months by this point.
Okay, so this is the pizza stories from the delivery driver's perspective horror story. So we're gonna see delivery drivers be scared out of their minds. So let's see.
I'd done countless deliveries already. My first car was an old, cheap Toyota, so it was perfect for bopping around town with. It was a Friday or Saturday night. I was working the closing shift, which was 12 a.m. It was open later on weekends. This was towards the end of the night, past 11 for sure. My boss, who I'll just call Mario, would always give me the details for the houses I'd be delivering to and their orders. We had an order for 1 pie to a woman named Karen, ironically. It was an unusually long drive away, about 15 minutes. Most orders come locally around the area, like 5 minutes away on average. I expected a better tip for this reason. I brought the pizza to my car and off I went, listening to my usual playlist on the way. I pulled down the block of the address and pulled up in front of the house. It was a small-sized house, as were most of the houses in the area. It seemed to be a lower-income area. The lights were on in one of the rooms on the first floor. I was approaching the door when suddenly a woman called out from a window from the house next door saying, "Excuse me, that pizza is for us. We gave the wrong address." So I walked next door to the front door and saw that the doorbell was broken. So I opened the storm door and then knocked really loud on the main door. There wasn't an answer for a good 30 seconds, so I knocked again, and I heard a woman's voice on the other side yell, "1 second," but they still took forever to open the door.
What?
Another minute passed before the door finally opened, and a woman in probably her mid-40s answered the door. She right away smiled at me and gave this flirtatious head-to-toe stare at me as if she were checking me out. She said in a very loud voice, "Chels, come look how handsome the delivery boy is." Another woman about the same age came over to the door, and she did the same thing. Right away, I felt my cheeks getting red, as I was a bit shy around older women like that. The woman who opened the door, who I'm assuming was Karen, asked me what time I get off work. That was when I started getting really nervous, because I wasn't good at flirting with women at that age. I said this is probably my last delivery, and then one of the women asked me if I wanted to come in and have some wine with them. I knew my friends would all rip on me forever if I blew this opportunity, so I said, yeah, sure. They asked how old I was,
man.
and I said 21. And then they both
Oh,
laughed.
fresh meat. Oh, they want that fresh meat, son. They want the freshmans. They want the freshies. Let me see. Let's look at the comments real quick. He said, have you ever thought of watching creepypasta videos? If you have a video request for me to do, drop it in the link. I'll probably do a separate video on it. But more than likely, I got a feeling that channel may copyright me. So I'll check it out, but it's no guarantee because a lot of channels copyright. So unfortunately, I'm not going to react to channels that copyright.
One of them said they don't care if I'm under 21. They told me to sit on the couch, so I did. They both sat on either side of me.
Whoa.
This whole encounter felt too good to be true to me. Nothing like this had ever happened to me before. I had a feeling these two women were already very drunk. From here, the women are both being very flirty with me, commenting on my dimples, saying how cute my shyness was, and all this stuff. I was drinking some wine, pretending like it didn't taste disgusting to me, because I didn't drink wine.
Oh, no, he drank the wine. Y'all know what that means. Hold on, let me pull the camera down a little bit. Y'all know what that means, though, man. Drinking the wine, they put the thing in there, so now he's gonna get got. Oh man, let's hope they didn't do anything to the wine, and that he can hurry up and get out of there. But usually, drinking the drinks means they got you, man.
That age at all. The woman Chelsea started saying that they want to show me something in the basement. I laughed and said, "What is it?" They both laughed and said it's a secret, but that I'll like what it is. They wanted me to go down first. Honestly, I had my own fantasy about what was going to happen in the basement. Unfortunately, it was nowhere near that.
Hold on. Whoa. At first, I thought he meant go down something, but go down to the basement is crazy. Why do I hold on? I go down to the basement for what? What's there? First, they're gonna lock you in there, bro. You gotta know they're gonna lock you in the basement and you're not coming out. Don't go down to the basement first. Ask them to go down to the basement. Let's see what he says. This is crazy.
Walked over to the doorway of the basement and looked down into the darkness below.
No.
I looked back at them and noticed they weren't laughing anymore. They had these blank faces.
No.
Only until they noticed me look back at them and they started to laugh and smile again. I said in a firm voice, "What's down there?" They said almost in unison, "It's a surprise." I started to walk slowly down into the basement.
Oh my gosh, bro. Why? Why would you go slowly into the they're gonna lock you in? They're gonna lock you in there, man. Oh man, I don't want to hear what's coming up next, but I know something bad, man. But apparently he survived this, so let's hear how it goes. What are these ladies up to? Y'all drop that in the comments, man. Melly said the wine got spiked. Hey, the wine probably did get spiked. He probably might be feeling weak at this point.
Asking where the light switch is. One of them said, "Leave the lights off." Now this part I'm not 100% certain of, but I was looking down into the basement and I thought I saw something move. Something as in a person's arm or hand. I turned around and saw the two women weirdly creeping towards the door sneakily. I stepped out of the basement and shut the door. I told them I need the money for the pizza as I nervously walked around them closer to the front door.
Okay.
This was when I spotted the towering, huge man standing in the doorway of an adjacent room, probably the kitchen. His 5 words have stayed with me all these years later. He said, "Let's just make this easy." I turned for the door and said the pizza's free. I ran to open it and slammed it behind me, only to hear it open seconds later. I got in my car, locking the door first thing, and that man was already outside my passenger side window looking in. He tried opening the door and then knocked on the glass. I put it in drive and got out of there not looking back. I got back to work and told my boss what happened.
Whoa,
why I came back
quitting.
empty-handed.
I'm quitting,
He
bro.
and the rest were in shock. I called the non-emergency number to report what happened, just in case if anything else should be reported at that address again, the police would know something awful's going on in that house. Whatever trap I was about to walk into, thank God I didn't find out what it was.
Thank goodness, bro. He said, "Let's just make this easy." Let's make what easy, bro? Don't even stay to find out. I'm glad he got up out of there safely. This could be anybody, man. But he was over to see. He was over to messing around, thinking this was a fantasy game. He almost died in this fantasy. And that's what that's what the trick is. The enemy, they send you these situations thinking it's all good until you find out it's not. Then you're gonna bite the apple that you didn't want to bite. Alec J. Tardy.
I love the fact that HelloFresh always.
When I was 19 years old, I was still working at a nearby pizza place to help pay for food and gas and stuff. The job was always pretty easy, just taking the order, boxing up the food when it's done, putting it in a bag, and driving it to the given address. I'd done it a million times before, and nothing weird ever happened. It was very repetitive. Tips would usually be around $3 to $5 depending on the distance. Sometimes more generous people would give 10 or more though. I remember this order was just a chicken parm hero and a regular slice. Smaller orders like this usually yielded lesser tips, but I didn't have a choice in which deliveries I did. I was on my way to the address, and of course, the house was apparently on a dead-end block. This block had a more rural feel to it than the rest of the neighborhood. One of the houses had an RV sitting on the grass with a small patch of woods next to it. The other houses looked like little farmhouses. There was a lot more space on this particular street. And then I pulled up to the address. It was this small, weird-looking house with a huge property, though. It sat next to what appeared to be an abandoned house with overgrown grass and shrubs. It was probably around 6 p.m. and it was getting pretty dark out. So it was around the time people would start putting on their lights inside their houses. But all the lights in the house were off, and I noticed the front door seemed cracked open. I began to walk over to the front door, and I heard a piano being played. It sounded like it was a couple
No.
rooms away at least, muffled by some walls or a door or something. I knocked on the door and then rang the bell after a few minutes. Only the doorbell didn't work. The piano was still playing. I felt weird just walking in, so I walked around the property towards the back. The backyard was a literal mess, things scattered all over the grass. I even saw a broken, rusty chain link fence just sitting in the middle of the yard. I went to the back door and knocked really loud. I looked through the glass of the door and saw nothing except for what looked like a really messy storm room. Clearly, these people were not neat freaks, to say the least. When nobody answered the back door either, I went back around front and called one of the guys at the pizzeria to confirm the address with him. He took a second to check what he wrote down, and he confirmed that I was at the correct address. So I went back to the front door, pushed it open, and heard the creepy-sounding piano music still playing. I yelled, "Pizza's here." The piano stopped. Someone yelled, "Over here." Then the
Hey, no,
piano
no, 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 no,
resumed.
no, no,
They
no.
were playing
Ain't no,
this
ain't no
simple yet
over
creepy-
here, bro. There is no over here. I'm not going over there. What you mean? You come. What people are wild out here. I'm coming inside your house to deliver you a pizza, and you talking about come to a certain room. Why did you come to the front door? If this delivery person steps in his house and go in the back, I'm gonna smack my own ears for hearing this stupidity. This is crazy, man.
creepy repetitive song as if on loop. There were also no lights on in this house, so it was almost hard to see in there. I walked straight, getting closer to the sound of the music. The smell inside the house was very musty and off-putting. When I got halfway into, I guess what you'd call the foyer, I felt very uncomfortable. I wasn't going to go any further. I yelled, "I'm by the front door, sir." The music stopped, this time for good, and now there was just silence. I backed towards the door again so that I would be closer to the outside. I was expecting to hear footsteps coming towards me, but no, it was just dead silent. I said, "Sir?" And a voice from another room said, "Yes, sorry, I have trouble walking. Could you just bring it in here, please?"
Nope.
I asked, "What room are you in,
Heck
sir?"
no.
And he took a moment to answer back, "If you just walk through the living room, I'm in the dining room." There were no directions on the phone to do any of this.
Nope.
This was very strange.
Very
I thought
strange.
for a second about my next course of action. I felt bad leaving in the case that this was some old, feeble man just living in a messy house.
Hey, one quick comment, man. Jobs like this where you gotta go places and meet weird people, bro. Just leave, man. Just get out of there. The job ain't gonna pay for you. Nah, the job ain't gonna do that. You gotta look out for yourself, 100%. And if it's dangerous, just get up out of there, bro. Forget it. I promise you, it's not worth it, man. You know, if it's sketchy, get out of there quickly.
I started walking through the living room, and there was an opening that led to what I presumed to be the dining room.
Man, you went in there,
Me
bro.
being my overly cautious and paranoid self was still suspicious. Instead of walking straight into the dining room, I peeked around the wall just enough for one eye to see into the room. I saw the piano, but there was no one sitting at it. I also didn't see anyone in the entire room. With that, I quietly but quickly walked back towards the front door, shut the door behind me, and drove back to the pizzeria.
Good.
I explained that I got a sketchy vibe inside the house. My boss was completely understanding, especially when the alleged customer didn't call back asking why I left. That said everything. I didn't really understand the logic in trying to commit a robbery in your own house, and nor did my boss or coworkers. So later that night after work, I looked up that address, and that house was foreclosed on months ago, and it had been vacant. When I told this to everyone, they had the same mouth-dropping reaction I did.
Wow.
I was truly mere steps away from probably getting robbed.
Or
That, or
killed.
someone was trying to play a horrible prank on an unsuspecting pizza delivery guy.
Or whack, man.
If my 64-year-old mom
Like robbery is the least of your worries. You gotta worry about getting got off of the map of the earth. That's what I'm thinking. Story number 3, anonymous. Let's see.
It was my last week working at an Italian restaurant. It was a half pizzeria, half Italian restaurant, so my duties would switch from shift to shift. Sometimes I'd work the front register in the pizzeria, sometimes I'd be a busboy in the restaurant side, and sometimes I'd be doing deliveries. I liked doing deliveries the most because I'd make tip money. So it was ironic that I left this job with a horrible, scarring experience doing a delivery. It was a late night delivery. Of course, this is when the shady things happen. We got an order for 3 specialty pizzas. It was a big order, probably like $70 worth of pizza. It was on the bad side of town. This was already a minor red flag. Good thing I drove a crappy old Civic and wouldn't draw any negative attention out in that area, or so I thought. It was a 15-minute drive at least, and when I got to the house, I went up to ring the bell. The door opens within seconds, and this Latino man opens the door halfway, sees the pizzas, opens it fully, exposing the pistol in his hand.
Oh,
I'm not a gun person, but if I had to guess, I'd say it was a Colt 45. But I wasn't really paying attention to what kind of gun it was. My heart basically dropped out of my ass at the first sight of it and realizing the situation.
Oh, man.
And 2 more Latino men came to the door and grabbed me while the first one still had me at gunpoint.
Oh,
They were yelling in Spanish
no.
at each other.
Oh, so they got you. Oh, how did he get out of this one? Because this sounds like a training day situation.
Then the guy with the gun says in broken English, "Give me all of your stuff." I said okay, as I could barely breathe or speak due to my panic. I grabbed my wallet, which was all I could really offer him. He
That's
then yelled
scary.
phone, and I gave him my phone as well. It was a Motorola Razr, the iPhone of the 2000s pretty much. One of them even forcibly grabbed my wrist and yanked off my watch.
Dang.
Thankfully, it wasn't an expensive watch. After this, one of them grabbed my ID out of my wallet and read out my address.
Oh,
And they threatened me,
shoot.
basically saying if I told anybody about this, they'd come to my address and kill my whole family. I said, okay, I understand. Wanting to cry for help and for my life, but I couldn't. They then pushed me out of the house down the stoop, causing me to land on my hands and knees and start to bleed. They slammed the door shut, and all I had left on me now were my keys.
Oh, great.
I
At least
didn't
they gave
return
it
back
over.
to the pizzeria. I was too shaken and disturbed. I went home, noticeably quiet and shaky. My parents picked up on it. They also saw my scuffed up shorts and my bloody knees. They knew something was wrong, and they tried prying it out of me. I had to tell them the truth. I told them I was robbed at gunpoint on a delivery, and they had our address and threatened to come kill us if I reported them. My dad, who had connections with the police department, right away called the number of one of his close friends, and they immediately did a background check of the person living in that house. His name was Rodrigo. He had 4 prior felony convictions. And so, my dad, with the help of his police connections, ignoring the threat from the man with the gun, had a squad of police cars surround the house and enter the house with their guns drawn. I wasn't there, of course, but we heard a description of the scene through my dad's connections. 2 of the 3 men were still in the house and were arrested and charged. The man who had 4 convictions already got a life sentence. One of the guys by his side had a prior conviction and was sentenced to 5 years. The 3rd guy wasn't in the house, and I don't think they ever found him. To this day, he's still out there for all I know. And on several occasions since then, I've woken up to sounds from outside when the windows are open, like footsteps on the side walkway to the backyard, or the gate swinging open and closed. It could just be my imagination or being paranoid, but I do still worry for my and my family's well-being. Enough time has passed now that I think that man fled the country, or at the very least knows better than to ever show his face in this town again. But still, it is something that hangs in the back of my mind.
Yeah, man. I mean, like I'm saying, these stories, or these situations rather, are very scary. The first one with the guy thinking he was going to have his fantasy fulfilled, I guess he was definitely happy about that, but walked into a terrible situation. Not recommended at all. Like just walking to somebody's house as a delivery person is already crossing the line. I think everybody should be outside the house, never going inside the house. Now, special situations, let's say heavy rain. I don't know why you're delivering pizzas in that weather, but let's say you need to step inside just for a second. Still risky. Still risky. I would not like to do that, but if it's totally needed, one foot in, one foot out, at least. Um, but man, what a crazy situation to be in. You just doing your job, and now your life is being threatened on the job. Is definitely discouraging to continue working at that job, man. Nobody wants to be put in a life-threatening situation while working. You know, anybody would want to leave that position, and it makes sense. Now on to our final video of the night. Three true high school reunion horror stories. Now, funny enough, I've never been to a high school reunion yet. But this makes me think about a lot of different things. First of all, how old are these people at this reunion? Where does this reunion take place? And who are the victims? Because I know there has to be a main player and a victim, a suspect and a victim. So I'm curious which of these stories, or how many of these stories, have to do with one or more. Cause I'm thinking it's like one person that is the suspect or the person that's doing the weird thing to a particular person at the reunion. Like, like an old ex or something like that that's pissed off and that never got over the other person, whatever. I don't know, but I'm curious to hop straight into it. Let's dive right into it for our last video, man. Don't forget to smash the like button for your Duke as we approach the end. Last video. Okay, let's go. Let's get it. All right. It's also about Mr. Nightmare, man. Shouts out to Mr. Nightmare, man. Let's get it. Anonymous.
My 10-year high school reunion was coming up. I didn't originally plan on going, but my friends convinced me. The reunion was in August on a Saturday. It was organized by a group of people from our graduating class, and it was going to be held at some catering hall in a nice area of town.
Ooh.
It had been a long time since I'd seen any of these people, minus my handful of friends from high school who I'd be going with. I really didn't want to go because I didn't like a lot of the people from my high school.
Okay.
Making small talk with 100 people I hadn't seen in 10 years sounded
Waste of
awful.
time. Yeah.
But I also felt like if all my friends went and I didn't, I'd feel like I was missing out. When the night of the reunion finally came, I drove to my friend Kayla's house, and our two other friends, Marissa and Sophia, came as well.
Oh.
We were pre-gaming at her house. Then we ended up calling an Uber from there. The reunion started around 8, so we got there fashionably late at 9. We stepped into the party hall, and right away familiar faces everywhere, only older-looking versions of everyone. There had to be at least 80 to 100 people here, and it was more than I was expecting. Being with my friends made it easier to say hi to people I hadn't seen in forever. The vibe honestly was a bit different than I was expecting. There was a DJ, party lights, and a generally loud atmosphere, whereas what I was expecting was a quiet, intimate setting focused heavily on talking. People were getting really drunk at this, including my friends.
What?
We
Calm
sat at
down.
a table with some other girls from high school. It was about 10 of us at the table.
Ooh.
As the night progressed and everyone mingled and caught up with different people, I found myself feeling a bit awkward as my friends were doing their own things. I was alone at the table eating, and I noticed a guy who I didn't recognize at another table, looking in my direction. When we locked eyes, I looked away, but I wondered who he was. I glanced back for just a second and noticed he was still looking at me. Next thing I knew, he was coming over to sit next to me.
Okay, he might
He
want to
told
talk.
me his name was Connor, and he started hitting on me immediately, saying he saw me across the room and couldn't help but come over and say hi.
Wow.
He was honestly decent looking, and I felt awkward sitting alone anyway,
Connor is
so I really
hilarious.
didn't mind him sitting there. I said, "I don't recognize you. Did you go to our school?" He said, "Yeah, everyone's been saying that. I transferred to your guys' school our senior year. I didn't meet a lot of you." I basically said, "Oh, that's interesting. Who do you
That's
actually know here?" He replied that he's just friends with a couple guys who are also here. I asked their names, and he gave first names only. I guessed the last names, and he said yes to both as he laughed.
Oh, he lying, man. He is lying, bro. He is a random guy looking for a date, man. He's looking for some action. He don't know. Connor does not know anybody. Is his name really Connor? I don't think his name is Connor, man. I think his name is something else. You know, that Connor is his alias. You know, he's not really there for the reunion. He's there on a hunt. Let's continue.
We talked for a while until he asked for my number so that he could go back to his friends. I gave it to him and walked away. Overall impression was that he seemed normal and I enjoyed talking to him. Now I was left alone again. So after finishing my food and drink, I went to find my friends. They were all separated, talking with different people. Some people who I wasn't the biggest fan of. I went over to Kayla, who was mid-conversation with.
You can sell this $5 spatula on Amazon.
Man, these commercials. I agree with you.
And I joined the conversation. My friends were all wasted. I was definitely drunk, but not on their level. I kind of wanted to just go home. It almost felt like a saving grace when Connor texted me asking me if I needed a ride home since he's leaving.
No.
I texted him back, yes, please.
Oh,
he told me to meet him
man.
in the lobby of the building. So I looked around and then decided to just do an Irish exit.
An
Too many
Irish.
people to say goodbye to. I saw Connor in the lobby by the front door. We walked to his car. It was a black two-door coupe. I honestly don't know what it was. I'm not a car person. He asked me to put my address into his phone.
See, this is the other stuff, man. Hold on. We gotta slow it down just 1 second here, man. You just met the guy and you already taking a late night ride with him to your personal house. And which point does these are all bad choices. The phone number, oh my goodness, man. He got you. And you're drunk? The worst choice of all? Yeah. I don't know, man. I don't know if it's going to end well. Let's see.
I thanked him for doing this as we started to drive. He pulled a couple water bottles from the back seat and handed me one, and he suggested I drink a lot of water to avoid a hangover tomorrow. So I started to sip some water. Suddenly, my phone started blowing up. Kayla was calling me, and Marissa and Sophia were also texting me in our group chat.
Wow.
I didn't pick up the call, but I read their texts. They were asking where I went, and I told them I got a ride home. They kept pressing me, asking with who, and Kayla said check the Facebook group that organized the reunion. Then Marissa sent a screenshot of a post made by a girl in the Facebook group, warning everyone of a random guy who wasn't from our school going around talking to girls, introducing himself as a different name to everyone. Kayla tried calling me.
See what
I
I'm
pressed decline
saying?
and texted her I'm with this guy named Connor.
She better, her alarms better go off, and she better be scared, man, because she is in danger. She's in danger. Connor's gonna make her a goner. Okay, that's what's gonna happen. Connor is gonna make. I knew it. I knew Connor wasn't his name. Y'all see what I was saying earlier? Let's see. How is this gonna end?
She replied in all caps that someone said that she saw me leave with that guy. I wanted to actually vomit now.
Uh-huh.
I looked at the guy, and then I evaluated the situation. I had to run when I had the chance. The next time we were stopped at a red light, I opened the door and said I gotta go, and ran as fast as I could.
You ain't
I
running.
ran
you
into
drunk.
this parking lot of a TGI Fridays. He didn't chase after me. He just kept driving.
Oh.
Called Kayla back right then and there. She told me to wait here. They'd all Uber over here and pick me up. I waited in this
Wow.
parking lot for like 15 to 20 minutes until they arrived. By this point, I started feeling extremely drunk, lightheaded, and a foggy memory. I believe he had put something in that water bottle to try and sedate me. Thankfully, I didn't drink that much. The worst part about this was that the guy now had my apartment address.
Exactly.
We all slept at Kayla's house that night. The next morning, I drove home, but shortly after entering my apartment, there was a knock at my door. I freaked out
Dang.
thinking it was that guy, but I saw it was my neighbor through the window. I opened the door, and my neighbor asked me if I knew the guy who came to my apartment last night and was looking through the windows. I told him all about last night. He was appalled too. He said when he confronted the guy asked him if this was where Miranda lives. My neighbor was wise enough to say, no, you have the wrong apartment. My neighbor doing this just may have saved me from that guy ever coming back. When my lease was up, I moved to a different apartment in the same community, just to be safe. I'm super grateful my friends all tried to warn me in time before it was too late.
Man, she got lucky. She got lucky, man.
Here's one.
She really got lucky for sure. Like, I don't know why he didn't like try to make her stay in a car. Well, yeah, actually he had her address, so he had a backup plan. But wowzers, bro. Connor was about to make her a goner, and she was gonna be no longer be able to see her friends. Like, this is crazy. Obviously, this is not a scenario that I think a lot of us will get ourselves into. Hopefully not. You know, ladies out there, y'all gotta be smart as well. Story number 2.
My high school does 5 and 10-year reunions. My 5-year reunion was a few years ago. My high school was on the smaller side with around 200 kids per grade, so just about everyone knew everyone, even if just partially. For the 5-year reunion, it was being held in a small banquet hall in town. I was excited to go see all my old friends who I hadn't seen in forever. Of course, arriving to these things alone can be a bit scary, so my friend Julia and I were going to go together. Julia has been my best friend ever since middle school. She knows about everything that I've been through, and I know about everything that she's been through. That includes the situation I had with a boy named Tyler. Tyler was a boy who I had a little bit of history with, meaning we hooked up a few times senior year. But he quickly started giving me crazy and obsessive vibes, and when I cut him off, he threatened me and got aggressive. He sent me threatening texts, like he knows where I live and he knows when my parents aren't home and more. One night he came to my parents' house and threw rocks at my window, and my dad had to go outside and chase him away. As time passed, I guess he lost interest in harassing me. Tyler was friends with some of the, I guess you'd say, weirder kids in high school. Not the athletes, not the cool kids, not the gothy kids, just the slightly weird group. When word got out that he'd been harassing me, a lot of people grew to hate him. I just hoped he wasn't going to be at the reunion. Julia and I got to the venue it was being hosted at and did our rounds, saying hi to a bunch of people. There was a solid 50 people there at the peak of the night, which was a solid turnout considering the small size of our grade to begin with. At some point in the night, though, I got a tap on the shoulder from none other than Tyler. When I turned to see him, I felt my heart sink. He said, "Hey, can we talk?" It had been years since I'd spoken to him, and that was the first thing he said to me. I said something along the lines of, "Hey, I hope you're good, but there's nothing to talk about." And I tried to walk away. He grabbed my shoulder and spun me around and said, "You're already going to be like that?" I pushed his hand off of me and said, "Let go of me." He looked around nervously and said, all right, and walked away. I could tell he didn't want the negative attention. This now ruined the mood of the night for me, as I had to try my hardest to avoid looking at or going anywhere near Tyler. I noticed he was with one of the kids I remember him hanging around in high school. I got into a conversation with Julia and a few other girls about the situation with Tyler, and how he just grabbed me moments ago. Everyone was on my side and agreed he'd always been a weirdo creep and was known for being aggressive with girls. Oddly enough, I didn't really see him again after I saw him with his friend. I assumed he left early, which was a major relief for me. Julia and I stayed for a few more hours. Then we left with a few other girls to go to a dive bar nearby. And then, after another hour or so, Julia dropped me off at home. As I walked up to my front door, I noticed another car pass by Julia's car and continue driving down the street. Considering the hour and how quiet the street is, that was concerning. It was a Jeep Cherokee. Maybe it was paranoia, or maybe I was rightfully curious. But the next day, I looked up Tyler's Instagram. He was private. I requested to follow him with my fake account, which, yes, I have for situations like this. He accepted my follow request, but I couldn't see any pictures of a Jeep, or any car for that matter. This made me feel slightly more at ease. I live alone, so my worst fear was Tyler finding my new address and coming to my house at night. The next day, Tyler DMs me on Instagram a long message, trying to manipulate me into seeing him. All these years later, he was still giving me obsessive, creepy vibes. I blocked his Instagram, but I never could have imagined what that would have led to next. The same night I blocked him, I woke up to my doorbell ringing at 1 a.m. repeatedly. I was so scared. It had to be Tyler. I just knew it. I didn't know what to do. I didn't exactly have my dad here to chase him away like all those years ago. My parents live in Florida now. The doorbell ringing turned to angry sounding pounds on the door, booming through the apartment.
Now that's him.
This pounding went on for some time. Then the doorbell again, over and over and over. I finally went to the door and it stopped. I peeked out the window at the top of the door and nobody was outside. I slept with one eye open that night. And then the next day, my friend's dad helped me out and contacted his detective friend in our hometown. He came by the house and took pictures of the texts from years ago and the long DM from just a few nights before. He then contacted Tyler and gave him a verbal warning to cease all contact or this would be considered stalking and harassment. So far, it's worked. It makes me wish we went to the police all those years ago. Some people are dangerous and simply don't change. I hope he's not at the 10-year reunion.
Did you know that if you have an old YouTube channel?
I was seeing this girl for a few weeks. We'd been on 2 dates. Her name was Phoebe. We matched on a dating app and eventually met a few days later. She was 4 years older than me. Our first date was drinks, and our second date we went out with my friends on a weekend. My friends had neutral opinions about her. They thought she was, quote, nice and kind of quiet. They'd later reveal their actual thoughts on her, but I'll get to that later. Phoebe invited me to an upcoming high school reunion party. She told me she didn't want to go alone, and honestly, after she came to hang out with my friends and I felt like I owed her.
Phoebe might be needy.
Was falling on a random Saturday in the fall. It wasn't organized by her school, though. She told me that it was organized by this rich guy from her class, and it was being hosted at his house. I haven't had my high school reunion yet, but as far as I know, these things are usually held at bars or catering halls. We got to this guy's house, and it was admittedly a fancy-looking house.
Okay, he's rich.
It had a gated driveway, but no fancy cars parked anywhere in sight. My thought was maybe the owner parked his car in the garage during the party. The second we stepped into the house, I felt like everyone was staring at us. More specifically, me. A few people came up to Phoebe and hugged her hello, then shifted their attention to me. I felt almost like I was being interrogated with some of the questions these people were asking me. Like my whole life story, what I do for a living, who I live with. Finally, Phoebe pulled us away, only to go talk to more people who I also felt like were asking really personal and weird questions.
What?
There was also something about all the people in here. They seemed to be older looking than 28, which was the age Phoebe told me she was. Some of these people looked well into their 30s. I made a comment on that to Phoebe, and she said, yeah, some of these people aren't aging too well. I asked if she remembers all these people, and she said yes. I then asked who the party host was. I was curious to meet the owner of this big house. She said she hadn't seen him yet. Throughout the entirety of me being there, I felt like everybody was shooting me daggers. They wouldn't look away either. I whispered that to Phoebe, and she said back it's probably because they're wondering who I am. At the time, that was the only logical explanation I could think of, too. It's hard to explain the growing awkwardness at this party, but I can assure you, this was not what a normal high school reunion would be like. There was no music, and everyone was dressed weirdly, not like normal 28-year-olds. But that's the other thing. None of these people looked like they were in their 20s. I was getting uncomfortable with some of the stares I was getting in the room we were in, so I told Phoebe I'm going to run to the bathroom. Realistically, I just wanted to get out of that room and explore the house a little bit. I didn't have a drink in my hand or anything to make me feel at ease. I was just walking around this giant house empty-handed.
Don't drink
Anyone
nothing.
I passed stared at me. To say I felt out of place would be the understatement of the century. I found the bathroom. I stepped inside, even though I didn't have to go. I locked myself inside just to sit and regather myself, take a break from the awkwardness outside. I texted all my friends about how weird this reunion was and wondering how I could convince Phoebe to leave early. We'd already been there about 30 to 45 minutes, and this unnamed mystery party host was nowhere to be seen. Phoebe texted me, "Where are you?" I replied, "In the bathroom, give me a minute." Then I followed that up with, "This party's really weird, I'm down to leave soon." She said, "Why?" I said, "Everyone's being weird."
Oh, freak. Yo, was that the video or was... Did you hear that? Door knock, door knock. Hey, hold on. I think I just heard a door knock on my door, guys. Hold on. Let me look at this thing real quick. Was it the video or am I tripping? Hold on, guys. I don't know what to grab. So that must have been the video then. Okay. It must have been a video. Benny said, I heard that. Okay, so it must be a video. Let me go back.
Weird, I'm down to leave soon. She said, "Why?"
And wait, and then first of all, what does she mean? Why? He just told you it's weird in there. She don't listen, man.
I said, "Everyone."
Hold on, let me switch the scene. My bad. Switch the scene.
Everyone's being weird. Then someone knocked on the bathroom door.
Okay.
So I couldn't sit in there anymore. I washed my hands quick and left the bathroom.
That was
the
a
guy
good sound
waiting
effect.
outside, who looked like one of the younger ones here, said in a very low voice to me, "You should leave. That girl isn't who she says she is."
Woo! Hey! That is chilling right there, bro. She's not who she says she is. Nah, bro. Hold on, man. It's getting real good. Hold on. Who is she then? Who is she? This is crazy, man.
Low voice to me, "You should leave. That girl isn't who she says she is." I froze for a second, then said, "Phoebe?" He said, "Whatever she told you her name is." He then asked what she told me this party was. I said that she told me it was a high school reunion. The guy then smirked and said, "Do these people look like they're going to a high school reunion?" He left it off with, and I quote, "Trust me, leave sooner than later." And then he walked into the bathroom and shut the door. I almost knocked on the door to get him to come out and further explain.
Yeah, you got to explain that one. No, you can't leave me with a cliffhanger. You got to know. I have to know. Or maybe it might be a good idea not to know exactly what I'm in, only so that I can have, I don't know, because a part of me is like, okay, don't tell me everything, actually, because I don't want to know how much danger I'm in, only because that I might be so shocked and be scared to make a move. And then the other side is like, nah, tell me everything so I could have more urgency. So it's like, well, which one do I want to know in the moment? You know, because you know how like you find out some information and you can't not show it on your face when you're in front of a person that I guess is a part of whatever it is that you have a problem with. Like, I don't want to give it away and then they'd be like, hey, why are you acting weird? And then all of a sudden do what they meant to do from the beginning. You know what I mean? So it's like a movie scene to me. It's like that one part where you figure out that guy's a murderer and then now he's trying to kill you when you figure it out. So I'm like half and half. I don't know which one I would rather know. Not know or know. Drop in the comments which one you would do. I'm in between, man. I probably would want to know. But man, that would be terrifying.
But I thought for a second. I was already suspicious and uncomfortable in this house. That guy just confirmed something weird is going on here. I walked straight to the front door without drawing attention to myself. I still felt people staring at me as I walked to the door. I walked straight from my car in the street and drove home. Phoebe texted me asking where I went. I didn't answer. When I got home, I looked up her number on White Pages. That number was not associated with the name Phoebe. The name that came up was Claire Foster. The address that I picked her up at both times is also different than the address that came up on White Pages, which made me realize I never saw her leave the house. She was already waiting on the sidewalk both times. I replied to her text, "I had to leave, I'm sorry," and blocked her number.
That's crazy.
My friends all made jokes, and they told me she thought she was weird and off from the start, but they didn't want to tell me that and make me feel bad. My one friend joked that it sounded like I was in the movie Get Out. My friends and family all have had little theories as to what was going on. Some people would even think I exaggerated the whole thing until I told them about the fake name the girl gave me, and the guy telling me to leave sooner than later.
Hey, I am definitely glad he got out of there safely. Let me turn on the lights. I am I'm glad he got out there safely and didn't have anything wrong with him. Cause oh shoot, we got Just Gaming in here, man. Hey man, shouts out to the dude Just Gaming, one of the Dukes that joined. Shouts, hey, I appreciate him. We got him in here. Haven't seen him on a live yet, so we got him in. He joined the membership. Shouts out to him. Definitely appreciate that. We got Trent in here as well. Welcome in, guys. Dude walked into a cult, man. He walked into something strange, and I don't know if they're gonna do some sacrifices or something weird or some kind of like sexual cult thing. I don't know, man. It's a lot of crazy stuff happening out here these days. Another 1,000 Ways to Die reaction. 1,000 Ways to Die reactions are the new ones are on the membership. So if you join, you can get the new ones there, and I will be doing some new ones as well. The problem is that I can't show the full episode because it gets blocked and demonetized a lot of the times. So what I do is I show like a portion of it on the main channel, and then for those who want to check it out, you got to join the membership. You got to join the membership. Oh yeah, and a lot of those ones are also on the membership, so you had to have the membership to watch it. Unfortunately, but I had to do it because it's getting blocked. So to watch the videos, to watch the other 1,000 Ways, definitely check out the membership to get access to it. Our guy just Gaming, one of our Dukes, he has access to it. He's a part of the membership, so that's that. But yeah, man, crazy stories. That last story, I definitely would have gotten out of there as quick as possible if I was in that situation. If you have any requests for videos for me to react to, definitely drop it down in the comment section. In the live chat section wouldn't be the best, but in the comment section so I can get back to it later on. And also definitely the reactions that I would be doing would have snippets, but then the full version of the reaction will have to go to the membership, because a lot of the videos are gonna get demonetized and blocked. So I gotta make sure not only can you guys visualize it, but that it will stay on the channel. So I can do that through the membership join area. So go check that out if you're interested. But guys, man, if you have any other channels for Scary Saturdays that you want me to react to on the live, drop the names of that in the comment section or even in the chat right now. I will jot them down and then look them up and then see if I can do that. How to join the membership? Oh, you have to do it on the browser. On the phone, you can't find it on the phone. You got to go on the browser, and you'll be able to see the join right next to the right next to the subscribe, to be able to find that. So the phone version of YouTube doesn't allow you to see the join, so you had to do it on a regular laptop or computer. But yeah, if you have any channels, any like scary stuff you want me to check out or do on the live, definitely drop it in the comments or in the chat, and I will definitely put that on the side and look into it. Because the reason I say that is because a lot of these lives are getting blocked, or like in the live is getting shut down, and I don't want that to keep on happening and my channel gets striked. Then I can't do any lives anymore. Because last time I got striked and then they shut down the live, I think I was on probation for about like 90 days. I couldn't live. So there are some restrictions, guys. So I'm trying to be very careful here. Definitely please understand that if I get striked so many times, it's not, I can't go live. So I got to make sure I make the smart moves for everybody. Let me see. Trent said, dang, man. You say you're funny. Appreciate you. I appreciate it, Trent. So let's get it run up, man. Don't forget to smash the like button for this live. More videos are coming out, man. A lot of content is on its way. I would say the skits that I'm doing, I actually have one horror skit. Actually, there's one horror skit that I've done with a friend. I have to film like one or two more scenes to it, but it's pretty much like 95% done. I would say it's like 95% done. I just got to put the last finishing touches on it to complete it, and it should be on its way. Like I would say either next month or early March. Honestly, I just got to get those scenes shot, and then put it inside the video, and it's ready for you guys. It's like a horror movie / comedy. So you might find it funny and scary at the same time. But nevertheless, man, this was a fun live. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope you guys are having a fantastic, or have had a fantastic Saturday. It's your man Eddie Ed, and the live is over, guys. Subscribe if you're new, if you're watching the playback. And if you missed most of the lives, you can go watch it back again on the playback. So with that being said, and with that being done, I'm ending the live stream. But once again, definitely drop down in the comment section if you have any video for me to react to. And if you want to support the channel, join the membership. You got to do it on a laptop or a computer to be able to see it. Drop your suggestions, smash the like button, and subscribe. It's free. Appreciate you guys for hanging out with your Duke. It's your man Eddie Ed. It's Eddie Ed TV. Catch you guys next live stream. Peace.